The major players who will miss the World Cup in Qatar in 2022. All nations playing in this World Cup are shown here in this table. The players who have been ruled out or are questionable for the Football World Cup, which begun on Sunday 20th of November and ends on December 18th in Qatar, are as follows. Let us begin with the players of the winner of the last World Cup 2018 in Russia, France. The first player on this list who will miss this World Cup is Paul Pogba. Pogba injured his knee in preseason and underwent surgery in September to repair a damaged meniscus in the knee. The 29-year-old resumed training, but on October 31 his agent said the midfielder would not return to action for Juventus or world champions France before the World Cup. We may not see him playing before 2023. The second player on this list who will miss this World Cup is N'Golo Kante. The Chelsea midfielder suffered a setback in his rehabilitation from a hamstring injury that has restricted him to 2 league appearances this season. He will be sidelined for 4 months after undergoing surgery. A hamstring injury is an injury that occurs on the backside of the thigh. There are 3 grades of hamstring injuries. These grades are known as Grade 1, 2, and 3. Grade 1 recovery usually takes about 1 to 3 weeks. Grade 2 recovery time is usually 1 to 2 months, while Grade 3 recovery time can be anything from 3 to 6 months. The third player on this list who will miss this World Cup is Boubacar Kamara. The Aston Villa midfielder suffered a knee ligament injury in September that will keep him out until after the World Cup. Knee ligament injuries can be classified into 3 knee sprain grades, depending on the amount of damage to the knee ligament. These grades are Grade 1, 2, and 3. Grade 1 recovery usually takes around 2 weeks. Grade 2 recovery time is usually 2 to 6 weeks, while Grade 3 recovery time can be anything from 3 months to a year. The fourth player on this list who will miss this World Cup is Presnel Kimpembe. The Paris Saint-Germain centre-back ruled himself out because of a hamstring injury. The grades and recovery times of hamstring injuries were covered earlier in Kante's injury. The fifth player on this list who will miss this World Cup is Christopher Nkunku. The RB Leipzig forward was included in France's squad for the World Cup, but was ruled out of the tournament after picking up a left knee injury following a tackle from teammate Eduardo Camavinga in training. The grades and recovery times of hamstring injuries were covered earlier in Kamara's injury. The sixth player on this list who will miss this World Cup is Karim Benzema. The French Football Federation said an MRI scan confirmed a thigh muscle injury which will require a 3-week recovery period. A thigh muscle injury or strain is a term often used to describe a tear in one of the quadriceps muscles at the front of the thigh. It is common in sprinting and jumping related sports. The quadriceps muscles consist of the vastus lateralis, vastus medialis, vastus intermedius, and the rectus femoris. The thigh muscle strain is classified into 3 grades. Grade 1 usually takes about 3 weeks to recover. Grade 2 takes 4 to 8 weeks to recover, while Grade 3 recovery time can be anything from 6 to 12 weeks. The seventh player on this list who will probably miss this World Cup is Raphael Varane. He had a hamstring injury as well. He is trying to be fit to play, having missed his past 5 club matches. To know more about hamstring injury, please check Kante's injury. These were the major 7 players from France. Let us now see the major players who are missing the World Cup from Germany. The 8th player on this list who will miss this World Cup is Timo Werner. The RB Leipzig forward, 26, sustained an ankle injury during their 4-0 Champions League victory over Shakhtar Donetsk at the start of November and will be sidelined for the rest of 2022. An ankle injury, also known as an ankle sprain, has 3 stages. Stage 1 usually takes from 1 to 3 weeks to recover. Stage 2 recovery takes between 3 and 6 weeks, while Stage 3 recovery takes months. The 9th player on this list who will miss this World Cup is Marco Reus. The Borussia Dortmund captain sustained an ankle injury and failed to recover fully in time. Reus also missed the 2014 World Cup after getting injured on the eve of Germany's departure for Brazil, where they won the title. Go back to Timo Werner's injury to know more about ankle injury. Now we'll talk about the England players who aren't playing in the World Cup. The 10th player on this list who will miss this World Cup is Rees James. The 22-year-old right-back injured his knee in Chelsea's Champions League clash against AC Milan in October and said he will not be a part of the England team. Since he injured his knee, he had been on the sidelines for 8 weeks. The knee injury details have been covered earlier in this video. The 11th player on this list who will miss this World Cup is Ben Chilwell. Left-back Ben Chilwell pulled up with a hamstring injury during the added time in Chelsea's Champions League win over Dinamo Zagreb and said days later he had suffered significant damage that would rule him out of the World Cup. To know more about hamstring injury, please check Kante's injury. We are now moving on to major players missing the World Cup in Portugal. The 12th player on this list who will miss this World Cup is Diogo Jota. The Liverpool forward will miss the tournament due to a calf injury sustained in their victory over Manchester City. But the Premier League club's manager Jurgen Klopp said that he would not require surgery. A calf injury, also known as a calf sprain, has 3 stages. Stage 1 usually takes from 2 to 4 weeks to recover. Stage 2 recovery takes between 4 and 8 weeks, while Stage 3 recovery takes 3 to 4 months. The 13th player on this list who will miss this World Cup is Pedro Neto. The 22-year-old Wolverhampton Wanderers winger will undergo surgery on an ankle injury sustained against West Ham United in October. Ankle injury has been covered in Timo Werner's injury. Let us now turn our attention to the major players who will be missing the World Cup in Brazil. The 14th player on this list who will miss this World Cup is Melo. Liverpool's on-loan midfielder picked up a left thigh muscle injury in the build-up to a Champions League clash with Rangers in October. Thigh injury has been covered earlier in this video. Next, we will see which major players are missing the World Cup from Canada. The 15th player on this list who will miss this World Cup is Scott Kennedy. The 25-year-old defender sustained a freak shoulder injury at the end of October while playing for Regensburg against Rostock in the German second division. He is not going to play at the World Cup, and we may not see him until next year. Let us now see which major players are missing the World Cup in Mexico. The 16th player on this list who will miss this World Cup is Jesus TECATITO Corona. The Sevilla winger suffered a fracture on his left ankle while he was training with the La Liga club in August and underwent surgery. Argentina will be our next nation. See who will not be playing at the World Cup. The 17th player on this list who will miss this World Cup is GIOVANI Lo Celso. The midfielder picked up a hamstring injury while playing for Villarreal. Argentina coach Lionel Scaloni described him as being irreplaceable when naming his squad. The 18th player on this list who will miss this World Cup is Nicolas Gonzalez. Argentina forward Nicolas Gonzalez suffered a thigh injury in training on Thursday and is out of the World Cup according to his country's football federation. He was replaced by Joaquin Correa, who was discovered to be injured and ruled out of World Cup. As well, Japan is also missing a player. The 19th player on this list who will miss this World Cup is YUTA Nakayama. The defender will miss the World Cup after being ruled out for the rest of the season due to an Achilles injury. The Achilles tendon is a band of thick, fibrous tissue connecting the calf muscles to the heel bone. If the tendon fibers break completely or partially, it is called an Achilles tendon rupture or torn Achilles. Recovery time varies, with some people recovering in 2 to 3 weeks and others taking up to 6 weeks. With the help of physical therapy, most people can return to normal activity in 4 to 6 months. Morocco, which is also playing in this World Cup, will be missing a player. The 20th player on this list who will miss this World Cup is Amine Harit. Morocco's Olympique de Marseille forward Amine Harit sustained a knee injury during a Ligue 1 match against AS Monaco, ruling him out of the tournament. Let us see which player we are not going to see from Senegal. The 21st player on this list who will miss this World Cup is Sadio Mane. Sadio Mane was named in Senegal's squad for the World Cup despite suffering an injury playing for Bayern Munich, but has been ruled out of the tournament after officials confirmed he would need surgery on the knee injury. The last player on our list is going to be from Spain. The 22nd player on this list who will miss this World Cup is Jose Gaya. Valencia left-back Jose Gaya was withdrawn from Spain's squad for the World Cup in Qatar after suffering an ankle injury in training. Thank you for watching. Do not forget to subscribe, like, and share this video with your friends. We'll see you soon with a new video.